On the outskirts of a small, forgotten town nestled between dense woods and fog-laden hills, the legend of the Mothman endured, whispered in hushed tones around campfires, carved into the peeling walls of abandoned buildings, and etched into the trembling minds of those who dared to remember. Most dismissed it as folklore, a tale spun to scare children or to explain the unexplainable. But for Lisa Carter, it had become an obsession. Lisa, a 17-year-old with a penchant for exploring the mysterious, had always been drawn to the stories of the Mothman. Her grandfather, who had lived in the town his whole life, would shake his head dismissively when she pressed him for details. "Those are just ghost stories," he'd say, lighting his pipe, eyes flickering with unease. But Lisa knew better. Somewhere in those stories, buried beneath the layers of myth, was a truth waiting to be uncovered. One stormy October evening, as the wind howled through the cracks of her bedroom window, Lisa decided to venture into the woods. She had read every account, every sighting, every shaky photograph. Tonight, she would seek the creature herself, if it truly existed. Armed with a flashlight, her phone, and an old camera her grandfather had gifted her, she slipped out of her house at midnight, avoiding the watchful eyes of her parents. The woods were alive with shadows, twisted trees clawing at the sky like skeletal hands. The rain had softened into a fine mist, blurring the edges of reality. With each step, Lisa's excitement grew, overtaking her fear. She followed a narrow trail, the one she believed led to the old bridge, an abandoned crossing where sightings had been most frequent in years past. As she approached the bridge, a sudden gust of wind sent a shiver down her spine. The air grew thick with an unnatural silence, broken only by the distant cry of an owl. Then, in the faint glow of her flashlight, she saw it. A pair of enormous, luminous eyes watching her from atop a nearby tree. Heart-pounding, Lisa froze. From the shadows emerged a figure, tall, broad-shouldered, with wings that shimmered like oily black silk. Its face was twisted, features obscured, but the eyes, piercing, unblinking, sealed her in place. She wanted to run, to scream, but her voice was lost in her throat. The creature spread its wings, casting a shadow so vast it swallowed the tiny puddles at her feet. As it moved, she could see the grace of its flight, unnatural yet mesmerizing. A faint hum resonated from it, like the drone of 1,000 bees in unison, vibrating deep within her bones. Suddenly, the creature's eyes shifted, no longer watching her with curiosity, but with something darker, hunting. A cold dread froze her in place. The world seemed to slow, her mind flooded with visions of past victims, tales of missed warnings, strange sightings, unexplainable disappearances. Without thinking, Lisa backed away, her foot catching on a root. She stumbled and fell onto the muddy ground, clutching her camera tightly. The creature let out a low screech, a sound that scraped against her ears and pierced her mind. It lunged forward, wings flaring, and in that instant, Lisa saw her reflection in its eyes. A flickering mirror of her own fear, her curiosity turned into prey. She scrambled to her feet and sprinted back the way she came, the creature's wings beating like thunder behind her, relentless. She didn't dare look back. Adrenaline numbed her senses, pushing her through the tangled woods until she burst out onto the familiar path leading to her house. Breathing ragged, she tore inside and slammed her door shut, locking every latch. Her hands trembled as she tried to collect herself, to comprehend what she had witnessed. Her camera was still clutched tightly, the images it captured shimmering faintly back at her. A blurry silhouette, two glowing eyes staring directly into her soul. That night, sleep eluded her. Every shadow seemed to move, every breeze whispered a warning. When dawn finally broke, she dared to review her footage, praying for reassurance. The video was strange, blurred, flickering, with brief flashes of what looked like wings and eyes in the darkness. But one frame lingered longer than the others. A pair of luminous orbs glaring directly into the lens, as if watching her even now. Days passed, but Lisa's obsession only deepened. She talked to her grandfather, showing him the footage. His face paled as he recognized the blurry shape, surely the Mothman. He warned her to stay away from the woods, to forget what she saw. But Lisa couldn't. Not now. That night, she decided to return, to confront whatever it was that watched her from the shadows. Armed with her camera and a resolve born of curiosity and fear, she stepped into the woods once more. As she reached the old bridge, the air grew thick and heavy, the silence oppressive. Then, a gust of wind parted the trees, and she saw it again. Enormous wings unfurled, eyes glowing like twin moons. It hovered above her, silent and immense, as if waiting. Lisa's heart hammered in her chest. She raised her camera, trembling, and captured one last shot before the creature swooped down with impossible speed. The world blurred into darkness. When she awoke the next morning, she was lying at the edge of the woods, her camera beside her, its screen cracked and flickering. She returned home, battered but alive, the images on her device burned into her mind. But some things are better left undiscovered. Over the following days, Lisa's health deteriorated. She became withdrawn, haunted by visions of glowing eyes and silent wings. One night, she saw them again, those unblinking eyes peering through her window, watching her. She tried to tell her family, but no one believed her. As weeks turned into months, Lisa vanished without a trace. The only sign of her remaining was her camera, found months later in the woods, its battery drained but still faintly alive, recording the darkened trees and the faint hum of wings. And if you ever find yourself near those woods on a foggy night, listen closely. You might hear the whisper of wings, the unearthly cry echoing from the shadows, and if you're brave, or foolish, look into the darkness long enough, and you may just see those glowing eyes watching you back, waiting patiently for curiosity to lead you closer. Because some legends are born from truths better left buried deep in the night.